How's it going, guys? Coach Will here with another installment of Adapt at Home. All right, so today we have a core and lower body burner. All right, so it's gonna be 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, all right, for each one of these exercises. It's gonna be a total of 20 minutes. All right, so we're gonna have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different exercises, all right? And it's gonna be a total of 20 minutes. 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. So the first exercise that we're gonna have is gonna be the reverse plank. So with this reverse plank, honestly, it's a personal favorite of mine because for many reasons that usually as human beings, we usually are very biased towards the front of our body, right? With this exercise, we're gonna be a bit more biased towards the back of the body. So I'm gonna try to get into a position where I'm gonna have my legs nice together. I'm gonna put my hands behind me, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and conduct a plank, but reverse. So just holding this position right here, and just like I mentioned, we're gonna be holding it for 40 seconds. Now, notice what's happening with my body right here. I'm not letting my butt droop down, and I'm making sure that I'm actively squeezing my glutes to make sure that I'm getting good hip extension, and on top of that too, just to maintain good integrity of the spine. Now, if this tends on being really tough for you to maintain with the legs straight out in front of you, we could always do a tabletop position. All that is, I'm gonna bend my knees, I'm gonna go up into this position here. And that could tend on being a little bit easier, or just to kind of take away any kind of unneeded stress that we might get on our knees from being hyperextended, okay? And then from there, we're gonna go into the squat twist. So with the squat twist, this is not necessarily something that we're gonna go super deep into, but what we're trying to really emphasize is to get good rotation in that upper back, all right? So I'm gonna go and reach down, and then I'm gonna come right back up, just like so. Just like so. Now, if you do want to incorporate a little bit more depth, by all means, we go ahead and drop down, and then we're gonna go ahead and touch. Drop down, go ahead and touch. But just like I said, for the sake of this exercise, we do want to accelerate that heart rate a bit, and we want to make sure we're building up a good sweat. So just touch, come right back up, just like so, all right? And then off to the next exercise, which is gonna be the lateral quadruped. So quadruped position, all that is gonna be hands, and we're gonna go ahead and just lift up our knees off the ground, all right? So this position, it's already pre-programmed in most of us because all of us, we were babies at one point. So this should be something that we are usually practicing on, kind of microdosing here and there. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and find that quadruped position, knees off the ground, and then all we're gonna do is go sideways. Go sideways. And usually for this exercise, you could either go 1 rep to the side, another rep to the other side. Remember, it's 40 seconds of work, so you could kind of play around with it. Do a couple to the right, do a couple to the left. The biggest and most important aspect of this exercise, though, is just to make sure that we're keeping our back as straight as possible. I keep on mentioning this about making sure that we keep good integrity. That's very crucial and very important just to make sure that we have good back health, and on top of that, have good awareness of our body, all right? So again, maintaining this position here. I'll go ahead and do it sideways just to make sure you can see my back. I have a really expensive glass of whiskey, don't want to spill it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and maintain this position right here. Just like so, all right? Again, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. From there, we're gonna go into the bent knee flutters. So, good little core burner. Knees are gonna be bent, be laying back. Head nice and relaxed onto the ground, and all I'm gonna do, keeping my knees nice and bent, and all I'm just gonna do is flutter. Now, sometimes I like to tell people to just barely touch the ground. Notice that I do touch the ground here when I'm doing these flutter kicks, but when I do touch it, I'm having the intent to just making sure that I'm barely just touching the ground. Almost pretend, this is a horrible analogy, but I'm still gonna use it, but pretend that you have a pet ant in the ground, and all you wanna do, instead of giving them a high five, you're just giving them a little tap on the head, all right? So that's all we're trying to do. We're just laying face up and just barely touching the ground. Those are a little tough. I definitely just destroyed that ant, but it's okay. It's all about just making sure that we have good intent on this, all right? And then finally, for the last exercise, we're gonna end up doing the alternating single leg hip thrust. So with this, our normal hip thrust, we're just gonna end up being in this position just like the flutter kicks. So the good thing is, as soon as you're done with the flutter kicks, you can just relax right here and wait till 20 seconds of rest is done. Then we're just gonna go into the alternating single leg hip thrust. So we're just gonna go here, 1 rep, switch. 1 rep, switch. notice that as I'm doing this, I'm trying to maintain my hips as straight as I can with the leg that's up. So I'll go ahead and alternate. For you go ahead and see, leg is staying nice and straight, and I'm just going up, making sure that I'm keeping a nice straight line from my knee to my head. Coming right back down. All right, guys, and that was a journey that we just went on, but now we're gonna do this together, all right? Let's do it. All right, guys, and remember, we are gonna be utilizing, or at least I am gonna be utilizing my phone, so just in case, so I can know where I'm at, because it is gonna be 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, all right? Here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Starting off with those reverse planks. Make sure and put the phone somewhere that you can see too. And just like I said, this reverse plank, I really enjoy it because we're getting good development in the back part of our body. Plus on top of that too, we're really getting a good stretch and opening up that chest that could tend on getting into a really shortened position, especially in the day-to-day life. Even though right now we are at home, unfortunately, and for some of us that are fortunately able to work, you know, you still wanna be self-conscious of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and adapt to certain situations, and that's 40 seconds. So now I get 20 seconds of rest. That went by pretty quick, but I guess, you know, time flies when you're having a good time. So 10 seconds, and then we're gonna go ahead and start the next exercise, which the next exercise is gonna end up being the squat twist. So this is gonna be one that's gonna kinda accelerate your heart rate and just kinda get us going. Here we go. So going up, and notice, I'm not going that far down. I'm really just trying to get good motion on that upper part of my back. I'm gonna do it sideways and just moving. Now, if you want to, you can kind of use the opposite elbow to make sure that we're getting good motion on that upper back and just motion. Going back to this direction. And 40 seconds, 20 seconds of rest. Now we're gonna be going into the lateral quadruped. This is a personal favorite of mine, just for the fact, again, working on that core, but at the same time working on the core in a way that we're actually doing other things with our upper body and lower body, all right? So we're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, here we go. And with this, I'm just gonna kind of freestyle with it. Just gonna kind of move around a bit, making sure that I'm keeping my back as straight as possible, and that I'm breathing. Make sure we're breathing. Breathing is very, very important. And another thing that I wanna kind of bring up with our knees, especially, wanna make sure that our knees are as close as possible to the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and just move off to this side where you can kind of see this position. And I'm gonna try to maintain my knees as close as I can to the ground, where I'm barely touching. And that was 40 seconds, all right? And the next one that we have those bent flutter kicks, which I'm gonna get started here in about 10 seconds. And for these, I would suggest just find a happy place, breathe and move. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Remember, just tapping the ground, or you could just keep it off the ground. That's completely fine too. The biggest thing is just make sure that you're working. Find whatever works for you. There we go. Every workout, we're getting 1% better. That's all we want. We want that compounding interest to build up and get better little by little. Less than 10 seconds. Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling that burn. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right. And I could just hang out here, or I could move around, get a drink of water, because now what we have is the alternating glute bridges. And I'm getting started in less than 10 seconds. Here we go. Going in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Last and final exercise. So coming down and just alternating. Really actively trying to push those hips up towards the ceiling. Push up towards the ceiling. Oh yeah. Feeling those glutes. And notice that when I'm actually pressing up, I'm not just pressing it up and coming right back down. I'm pressing it up, holding it there for about 1 second, coming right back down. It's all about control. It's all about control and good quality motion. And that's it, guys. That was 40 seconds. A lot longer than 40 seconds, but with that being said, remember, it's 20 minutes. What's 20 minutes out of your whole entire day, right? So go on and give it your all, and let's put some intent into it. All right, guys, let's get it.